You could. Um, do they consider as well getting rid of the Marcy on Xerxia? Just because I feel like that plus Visage is still pretty strong. It's another thing
10
that's able
seconds
to
remaining.
punish the Rubik somewhat as well. I mean, just the
5
sniper into the
seconds
Mars feels
remaining.
like an odd ban to me, just because you're always going to be able to have that bulwark there to soak up a huge portion of the damage. But I don't know. I guess he feels like it's just a thing that Little Gun are very comfortable with. 4-2-3, great player on his own signature heroes. So just Little Gun are a different team, right? You need to draft very mm, in an unorthodox manner against them because then they'll just pull out these things out of left field.
For Lilgun as well, Ikigai, the position 2, of course, replacing Sanctity. He's been playing a lot of Tusk mid, so of course there's that potential, like you said, for them to still pick up the Marcy with the Visage and put the Tusk in another lane, which they have done previously.
Mm-hmm.
Slaughter ban, I mean, it's kind of a very interesting ban, actually.
Tells me they're going to pudge, most likely. They don't have huge like burst damage right now on Xerxia. Even just like Flame Guard and stuff, you don't really care about. Slardar to me is like, no, maybe not, because they banned the Naga. But to me, Slardar feels like you want to play something
10
like that
seconds
Pudge that can
remaining.
just get chunked down by heavy amounts of physical.
Yeah, I think that all
Team
the...
pick.
I see the
Radiant
silencer picked up, and... Oh... Well,
Okay.
what do we have here?
But is this something that you want to ban a Slardar for? Is my concern. Like, what's the point of this Slardar
So
ban then?
I think the point of it is they thought the Mars was going to continue
10
to be
seconds
flex. As soon
remaining.
as the Ember was picked up, then... Because that's what you had the potential, right? You could put the Mars mid,
5
and then if they went
seconds
like
remaining.
Life Sealer or your other suggestion, then they could have countered that at like the 18th, like at this pick potentially.
Mm.
But with the Ember showing now that the flex kind of isn't on the cards. So now the ban looks a little bit weirder.
Is it even a good Arc Warden game though?
I
Dire team
I don't know.
battle.
You're on 2 heroes that can get on top of you, and it's actually even going to go a Train Protector route. So I guess a hero that... Do you like this? Because Tree can kind of stall out the game, and Arc Warden would
Radiant
love a
team
game to be
battle.
stalled out.
Nah, I don't think it's as big. Like, I don't think this is a good Tree and Protector pick. It was a great Tree and Protector last game, right? Where you're just able to use the living armor against this lineup. It was also doubling in effectiveness with the overgrowth against the rolling thunder. This time around, you've
10
got a
seconds
visage that's able
remaining.
to still just chunk through the damage onto the towers. This isn't like the old living armor where it like reduced the amount of like it was a damage block. This time around, it's just bonus armor and healing. So something like the visage can still do some good damage into these towers. And Arc Warden as well, right? Living Armor is not going to be enough to stop an Arc Warden just hitting your towers with the magnetic field to buff up that attack speed. So um, I don't like this Treant pick at all, but I'm also kind of confused by the Arc Warden pick as well. So, it's a bit of both worlds. Uh, not
10
not to
seconds
flame the
remaining.
teams, but like I wouldn't think we would see like Fnatic or
5 seconds
Geek
remaining.
Fam or even Army Geniuses with the rich vein of form that they've been in draft like this. It just feels a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, maybe some old strategies that... I mean, there's a big reason why some of the other teams aren't kind of pulling it out, I suppose. So we'll see what they want to try and protect though in the second phase. That Pudge that you mentioned before will be banned out from Xerxia. And we are going to be looking towards Lilgun's...
So to me, this is probably an Arc-Warded mid against the Ember Spirit. Maybe they just feel like this is a really solid mid matchup. And then with the Morphling being banned out, maybe they are still going to go down that Lifestealer route. Like we were saying before, really solid against the Mars. Rubik can do basically nothing against it. You can't do much against Ember Spirit, but again, Tree and Protector, as long as you got Rage, you don't care. So I feel like this is a game where it's still a great Lifestealer game. Arc-Warden
Radiant
against Ember,
team
pretty
battle.
solid too. Um, PL very like you have to deal with a ton of illusions, not the thing that Lifestealer has the greatest time with. So yeah, I think Little Gun are absolutely setting up for a Lifestealer pick here. And as for Xerxia, I mean, I would just ban it out if I was them, but
10
I'm just
seconds
thinking what
remaining.
they want to pick as well for themselves, what their position one wants to be. They are
5
going to have the
seconds
response
remaining.
to
Dire
whatever Little
team
Gun
pick.
want. I guess the Monkey King's pretty good as well. It is a
Radiant
4-2-3
team pick.
specialty. Ooh,
Slug.
okay. Something a little different. kind of fulfills a similar thing to what Lifestealer wants to do, but I feel like you don't bully a Mars out of the lane like once you're like level 7, you know? Mars, you can rotate towards Slark's lane and kill him, whereas with Lifestealer, I feel like it's a lot more difficult.
Faceless Void.
And we just saw how effective the Faceless Void was, and now you've got 3 heroes that can get on top of an Arc Warden. So, Karma, aka Asta, for those that watched him in his old teams with TNC and all that. I think it's a great Faceless Void pick. I'm not exactly sure what I'm still calling him Haha is going to be doing on this Tree of Protector. I don't think it's enough to be able to protect against the Visage and the Arc Warden pushing style. Wait, who's playing where?
Trill's their one. So
Okay, so 4-2-3 is moving to mid, right?
yeah. So I probably should have said it earlier. Couple stand-ins for Lilgun, Se from of course Old Neon and Trill that we've seen a couple times play for Purple Paradox, and of course Xiao Bonbon's still playing for XERXIA as well, standing in for Jing.
I do love some Xiao Bonbon Rubik, but there's not a lot of great spells to steal from him, that's for sure.
So no Kishka, okay. Well, we'll see what we have in store for us in this game. It's a... I don't know.
There are things I really like about both drafts, but there are also things that I'm completely confused about.
Yeah.
You know, the Faceless Void is really solid just for the game overall. I think the Arc Warden into the Ember Spirit is really good too. I don't know which team I'm leaning more towards, to be honest. I'm honestly baffled about how both of these teams wants to take this game.
Just in regards to like how I feel like Radiant overall, like you've got teamfight ultimates, you got stuns. I feel like their teamfight just and their engagements look a little bit easier to execute than Dire's.
It's just simpler.
Yeah, I really think their lineup is just a lot simpler compared to what it is currently for Lilgun. That is like really my ultimate concern for them.
So when it comes down to this, where I'm completely confused as to what the like goal is for both teams, I guess we can kind of have, yeah, we've got our checklist, right, of what makes a draft good. But when we're completely confused by this, maybe we need a different checklist where it's like, you know, how simple is it to execute, and which heroes we feel are going to be completely useless in the game.
30 seconds.
Like which one outweighs the other. I think Rubik's going to be pretty useless this game.
Yeah, there's nothing really you can steal.
And you're weak in the lane, which is where you really need to be punishing like a Slark. Otherwise, he's just going to get his level 6, move back towards the jungle, have plenty of time. I mean, he just wants to sit in the lane as well, right, against the Mars. So if he can get that earlyish level 6, then Mars can't come back to the lane, because you're always going to outtrade him.
We'll get 4 bounties though for XERXIA, so I tell you what, I'm 100% all in now.
Right. I'm going to abstain from this one.
Oh, what do you mean? I can't make the call after I say 4 bounties?
You can make the call. I'm just choosing not to myself.
Okay.
If I'm not confident, I'm not making the call.
Alright.
I do like the fact that he's gone and bought a Quelling Blade here on 11 in the bottom side of the map, so completely cleared out all of these trees that Haha's going to want to play around.
This should be a pretty good lane for XERXIA though down bottom. Faceless Void into the Visage, which we kind of spoke about the matchup versus Slark, which we saw prior was a great pick, but also your lane versus Visage is incredible. The soul assumption isn't a concern at all. So, and the toss...
really just on Tree and Protector to make sure he's not out of position, right?
Yep.
He doesn't have the trees to play with, so you might need to just put a little bit more focus onto keeping the camp blocked, staying out of the lane essentially, because Karma's going to have a totally fine time.
So yeah, I wonder what the... Let's do some theory crafting again as well with the item build for Visage. We did that last time when Tino was playing. What do we think in this game?
There's a good amount of physical damage this game. I think you can go ahead and buy a Wraith Pact. Right?
I don't know.
Void Ember, Mars, do any of them really want to be right-clicking a
Is
Wraith
Void
Pact as well?
really physical? Like, until, like, 4 items, or even 3, like, Maelstrom and your Bashers are all... Like, I feel like that's where you get a lot of
Yeah.
your damage.
I guess. And even then, once you get, like, MKB, that's also magic damage. Maybe
Bash?
once, like, level 20, it becomes worth it, where he's got the attack speed and chrono.
Yeah. Or, yeah, exactly right. Like, so, we'll see. I'm very intrigued on what the item build's going to be for 11, although... how's the other side lane looking at the moment? Rapido is having a pretty good time at the moment as well. As soon as I say that, they're going to jump on forward. So, of course, we'll get the proc of the Arcane. Continue the damage ticking out.
Yeah, he should be doing just fine up here, honestly. Xiaobonbon really shouldn't have the luxury to be whacking away at Trill. It should be Seth's job just to keep him away, but Seth...
Alright, they're actually able to find the Treant Protector. Karma trying to hit back, but with the level 2, it looked like they just needed the tag team, and then they're able to bring down the tree once he entered the lane.
Seth's gone way too far forward. Oh, lucky enough just to not get clipped by that spear at the very end there. Trill, though, it seems like he's not on the same page as Seth. This is the downside, even though, of course, they are countrymen. They don't have that same level of cohesion as, more of the teammates that stick around with each other and play together for a long time. So I feel like Rapido was really in a position to die a couple of times, but Trill just wasn't in the mindset to be able to go for the kill, and I feel like, again, you've got to abuse this weak Rubik lane.
Treant Protector. At least the Void gets out, but Tree doesn't have this potential to be able to escape easily, so Karma's going to look to try and get another return kill. It will actually be the Tree that gets the kill instead. Mid lane, 4-2-3. Almost getting a solo onto Ken. Not enough mana, though, to drop another Spark Wraith. They're actually going to try and TP in the Rubik. Ken's got a little bit of mana to play with as well. The Slight needs to dodge the last right click, and the Telekinesis chain control as well will prevent the damage. And sidesteps, but he should go down. Ace waltz on forward. Easy one for him. Gets a lot of solo experience as well for the Tusk, which is going to be nice.
Xiaobonbon just denying while he's getting right-clicked by the tag team. 2 denies and a last hit for himself. Very nicely done. I'm sure 4-2-3 was expecting this mid lane to go a whole lot better than it has already. Of course, the 4 bounties certainly helps things, but you really don't want to be 400 plus net worth behind at the 4.5 minute mark. I feel like you specifically picked this to just dominate the Ember Spirit.
11 might be in some trouble here. Karma's going to try and play with the body box to prevent that Grave Chill escape. Snowball in to get some distance away. Ah, nicely done from Ace. Using all the abilities to just let 11 be able to pivot over into the river. Now they might still try and turn. Treant Protector's going to be off the mark with the abilities. Another Grave Chill might tick out though to the lead seed. One more tick and he doesn't die. 11. Ooh, doesn't run into his grasp as well.
Gives him over the tango. Ace has a salve, but of course not as effective as it used to be in terms of just feeding him over. Oh, has to be careful here. Should be getting caught out by this Nature's Grasp. Is he going to live?
He should tick out to it. And Ace might be in trouble. Dude, Karma's not getting too many bashes. And now he does on the range creep. Well, a little bit of damage. Very nicely done.
Top side really feels like it's ready to break out at any minute as well. Trill, probably not the best target to be going on to, but I suppose they also just want to keep the pressure in onto Trill so that he can't make a few more of these aggressive attempts. You know, again, Rubik not strong in the lane, and well, with him making this movement through, I wonder if that's going to be their trigger to potentially make a move onto Rapido, but the lane is pushed so far forward that I don't think it'll result in too much. Good protection for the power rune as well. Ken able to pick that one up, and he's even going to make his first rotation with his level 6 down towards the bottom side. If he were to be able to pick up a kill onto the Visage, that would be huge. No siege creep, unfortunately, for them to convert into some tower damage, but a kill would be still totally worth it.
That it would indeed. You should have a little bit of damage over time. Karma's going to be cautious, though. Forced to use the Time Walk defensively, but Ken can remnant in and not too worried about the Tempest double. Maybe he should be worried, actually. Ace is going to move over. Spark Wraith dropped on the Remnant location. He's got another one to play with, but it is a lot of resources now expended on the escape.
Well, I mean, at least Xiao Bonbon's able to be sitting mid, soaking up a lot of that experience for himself. That's the plus side of having this Arc Warden, right? You can do both. You can impact kills while also be able to still stay farming on your own hero. But despite that, XERXIA still with a very comfortable lead in all three of their lanes.
And you've got this Chrono now to play with, so... Wonder how aggressive they're going to look to play. I wouldn't even hate... I guess Karma doesn't want to lead bottom. It's not the easy lane for them to find. Top. True, yeah, not able to pounce out of this arena. First one of the game, and a big kill because they've still got their catapult time. 7:30 in, they still have the catapult to help out with the damage on the tower, so not much Sec can really do.
I mean, it's actually a surprising kill. That must have been a solo, yeah, with multiple uses of the Spark Wraith, Tempest double, and the Flux, of course, being used to wipe that one out. As they might be looking to make a bit of a turnaround here, as XERXIA's gone very deep.
That they have. Rapido be able to get some space with the spear. Shards tries to block off the path, but won't be able to do so. Unfortunately for Rapido, there will be no escape. Bottom lane as well. There we go. Chrono out from Karma. Familiar's going to be able to hold them back for the moment. Time Walk's still on cooldown. No way 11 escapes. TP's going to come through from 4-2-3. They still will be able to just run past the tower. It is the real Arc Warden down bottom. And with the help of the Familiars, they actually should be able to get the kill onto Karma into the tree line. So even though 11 goes down, it's a pretty worthwhile trade. And they might be able to get more out of it as well as the Tree Protector goes for a TP, but Jar Jar will be stopped short.
Crazy, going back and forth constantly. This Arc Warden, despite not having the greatest laning phase, his rotations have been on point, playing a lot more active than most Arc Wardens would. And 4-2-3 showing why it was one of those immediate responses that he feels comfortable with. It's always about the unorthodox when it comes to Lilgun. 9 minutes in now. More bounty runes available, but I think 4-2-3 didn't even care about the laning phase with the Tumbler's Toy, trying to get impact here into Xiao Bonbon. I don't think he's going to be able to have any involvement with this one, not even getting an assist. And he's spending a lot of time away from the lane, really feeling like he needs to accelerate his own farm by getting some of these free kills, the free net worth, to get that Hand of Midas a little bit sooner. As soon as Tusk shows shows mid, the ping goes out onto 11, feeling like they need to make that rotation in onto him, who is going the Wraith Pact, by the way. Thank you very much. But I'm not sure, again, how effective it's going to be against the Faceless Void specifically.
Smoke up. XERXIA, do they want to go bottom, though? Are spying out the real Arc Warden. A big kill for them to find. Out they go from the smoke and straight on top of 4-2-3. Easy like that. Meanwhile, bottom, though, they need to get to Karma pretty fast. That's where the Mars is able to come into play. In fact, he'll be able to stop his TP, but now knowing the Mars's TP is not available for this defense, I don't think you can defend the tower.
Yeah, I mean, Rapido shouldn't honestly have the luxury of playing up here on his own with no contesting.
Karma? Resummon to the Familiars. Karma just not respecting the chain control. Ken's going to try and rotate as well. They want to try and target down 11 at the moment. They should be able to get rid of him thanks to the maxed out Slight, and now they'll also go for the Tusk as well as Ken. Oh, this Ember Spirit's off to an incredible start here, top of the net worth, and soon will add another kill to the tally.
Yeah, he's holding on to his Ice Shards as well, not even attempting to go for the disjoint there to be able to get him a bit further away from the Ember Spirit, because he was running low on mana. Wouldn't have had the Fire Remnant to be able to follow up onto that kill, so some odd kills being given away by Lilgun here.
No, they might get 4-2-3 again. Oh, he's going to send the Tempest double up the high ground first. Was very close to following Rapido, though. Snowball up. Easy pickings. They might even be able to get Xiao Bonbon afterwards as well. So just some freebies. XERXIA bleeding some kills over the way of Dire. And 4-2-3 gets both of them. So A nice little bit of change injected into the Arc Warden's bank.
Even getting some D-wards off as well is Seth, so him being able to pick that up now with his involvement, he's got 6 permanent intelligence stolen. Very important to start to build that one up when you've got these scaling style of brawling supports. You know, the Tusk very effective early on, the Silencer plus the Slark.
Oh, Karma!
You want to make kills happen?
Ooh, that's a pretty big ultimate, but are they gonna have the damage? That's where Ken can come into play, but the Overgrowth holds him down as well. Karma sets it up perfectly, and the goon shot from XERXIA to be able to convert that.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Our vision, right? The Observer Ward there completely scouting out the position of all 3 of them. At least in the meantime, 11's been using his time effectively, not TPing reactively. Made sure to take out that tier 1 tower, so maybe this opens up a few more places for Trill to be able to move to the bottom side of the map and pick up the farm there.
That's pretty
That race pack too.
That's pretty huge that they are able to find this tier 1 tower though, isn't it? Because this is a lineup that really don't push overly well on XERXIA.
Yeah, it's better than the one we saw last game from Geek Fam, but yeah, no, certainly no real heroes that their big strength is that pushing potential. But anytime that you can have multiple of your own heroes around a big team fight victory, you can look to convert that into a tower fairly easily.
What have we got coming out shortly? I think Maelstrom completed. Might be able to add another kill to the tallies. Ace tries to disrupt it with the shards. Even Global Silence now. Is the turnaround going to be there? 11 playing with the familiars. Going to resummon once again. But a telekinesis will disrupt this. Ken still in trouble. Wasn't able to get the slide to Remnant out afterwards. And now they can look over to Xiao Bonbon over the tree line. It will go for the TP. I won't be able to stop that one, but nonetheless, though, you get a big kill onto the Ember, who was starting to get out of control.
Clever attempt there, though, by Xiao Bonbon. He actually used the telekinesis onto one of the familiars, just so that you wouldn't get as much of that chain lockdown, but unfortunately for Ken, the Silencer was there with the last word that ended up disrupting him still long enough.
Still is a little bit of space. What do we got? Where did Remnant to?
And he literally just came back. I mean,
Tough.
He's given away what was a very solid start to him. Still at the top of the net worth, but it's not certainly what you want to see from your mid laner, giving away these free kills over to the Visage, who didn't have the most amazing lane, despite the fact that I guess the Faceless Void was a pretty good counter to it, but he shouldn't have been in a position to die too many times either on 11.
Well, at least you got the Faceless Void. That's free farming, right? Karma over towards the Ancients. Maelstrom is almost completed for the Void, so he is still looking incredible in regards to the net worth.
Real solid. Scan might connect here as they move on forward. Yeah, Xiao Bonbon is the one to walk underneath it, to turn it from green to red, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
But are they going to be able to connect with anything here? Xiao Bonbon continues the rotation through Seth. He'll be right there. Unfortunately, going to lose his Observer Ward immediately, but at least they'll know what is available for them to play around. Actually, doesn't even die? Maybe that's one of the things where Ken's just been a little bit spooked about the past deaths. They really wanted to protect this. I wonder how long they're going to stick around on XERXIA, just to make sure that they don't lose their vision that they've expended a smoke to be able to claim.
Got it.
They don't exactly have the best roaching lineup on XERXIA either, huh?
No, they don't. Not at all.
It's pretty decent on Lilgun, though. I'm just thinking, like, the purpose of that smoke, right? Like, what was it going to achieve? Bot lane was pushing in pretty heavily. You've already taken mid tower. You might get a kill onto the Arc Warden, which I guess it's pretty important anytime there's a Midas builder, right? Just to prevent that scaling from happening. But, I don't know. I feel like that is a rotation that undervalues the importance of smokes to actually take, not only kills, but to take objectives off the back of them.
Radiant's bottom tower
Would have felt much more confident if they moved up top, right? To potentially connect through to Karma. And then take a tier 2 tower as a result of that.
So, another pick off onto a support, so Couple of kills being given over, but like you're saying, they're not really.
Maybe they go top now. Like, they've got a siege creep there, but
Radiant structures are fortified.
look at that, the aggressive use of the glyph, and all the boys are here. Karma's here. Ken might be looking to move up forward.
Oh, Trill on the tree line. Rapido gets a spear. Chrono.
Oh, just on the edge.
It clips it.
No pathing.
Oh no. Chrono wasted, and now they might be able to defend the tower. Silence is going to be able to respawn slowly. They've got the global silence instantly. Snowball fall for the chain control. Ace has got the punch as well to hold him down. Ken just survives though. Remnant on over. Now the turnaround's there. Arena to buy them some time to target down the Slark. A pounce, but he would not escape as a Remnant in goes Ken. But how does he survive now? Ken has got no way to disengage. He's going to be relying on the boys to protect him. They'll finally get the kill, but the cost, it might be worth it in the end. As 11 and 4-2-3 trying to scurry into the tree line. A blink up Rapido goes over the members, but he does have the spear back up and available. As 4-2-3. Well, that'd be an incredible kill for them to find, and what a fight in the end from XERXIA.
Yeah, they were trying to connect in onto the Visage at the very end, but that's the sort of fight that you want to make, right? They had control over the jungle, the lane was pushed in effectively, they even used the glyph aggressively for it. I really don't think they should be backing off from this. You've got to take the tier 2 tower. You've got to give yourself every advantage possible to be able to contest that Roshan as easily as you can. And, I mean, with an Arc Warden dead, the biggest deterrent for wanting to take a tower with the magnetic field, no global silence, the Visage was completely back, you knew that Slark didn't really want to fight again, and they've just given up this opportunity for free. Maybe if they could take Roche right now, but they're going to need to be pretty damn fast.
Dude, this is not a fast Roche at all.
Still pushing out the lanes fairly effectively, though. So the creeps will give them a lot of information to be able to play around. They feel like they've got good enough vision. But yeah, it is not very fast.
No, but like you said, though, at least the lanes are in a really good position where kind of XERXIA have to... Sorry, Lilgun have to deal with that first, and then once they deal with that, maybe they get an inkling of Roche going on, and no, they still haven't even pinged nor scanned, so a free first Roche given over him. Now Ken's got that extra support now. We saw a couple of some
ambitious.
Yes, there's probably some deaths that shouldn't have occurred, and well, now he's got the second life, so he can play a little bit more aggressive again.
I still want to see them playing around this top side, though. I mean, Rapido is just pushing out this mid lane. Xiao Bon, make sure to clear it too, and then, yeah, even just using the Blink Dagger to connect up top with the rest of the boys as quickly as possible. They've got the glyph there to be able to play around. Doesn't seem like Karma wants to go in with that creep wave. They might need to wait for the next one. Flame Remnant used. Ken, again, just making them not have to give up too much in exchange for this. He wants to clear out the wave, keep the pressure not on themselves. He wants to be the ones making the aggression happen.
Rapido. Very scary position. Ken as well. Pops the smoke. Looks like T2 Tower is going to go down before they're able to mount a defense. However, Global Silence, Karma just gets blown up. Nothing they can do against the ultimate. Should be able to get themselves out on everyone else, however, but the tower once again successfully defended.
Yeah, and this is one of the other things, right? Like, they had all of their tools at their disposal. That's why they were able to kill Karma there, despite him having the most farm in the entire game. If they'd just gone ahead and took that tower previously instead of walking around for about 30 seconds and then very slowly taking Roche, and they would have never been in a position for him to die like that. So, just small opportunities like that means that Lilgun, they've still got the potential to come back into this game. Of course, it's a scaling Arc Warden. Gonna have that Midas available fairly consistently.
Ken might be in some trouble. Another round of the Gleep near. Rapido's gonna jump in to try and protect him with the arena, but the snowball goes near the T2 tower. They still do get the kill onto Trill, but they've got to be ever so cautious about the Arc Warden damage as 4-2-3 is just pummeling it on the outskirts. Maybe this is where Karma can turn it down. He's got the Chrono at the ready, controlling 2 and the Tempest double as Karma's in for the cleanup.
He gets everyone that he could possibly want. They're even going to go for more onto Seh. Ken going for the chase down. Doesn't end up landing with the Searing Chains. He should still die. Maybe not. Gleipnir helping him out a little bit. All right. Sometimes a little bit of bad luck coming through from him there, but he's almost got enough gold to buy that BKB, so it's not going to be as big of a factor moving forward. Set. He's really ambitious here. I'm sure he's constantly checking Xiao Bonbon's inventory just to make sure that he's not dropping down any of this, and this should just be a free death.
Get some Permagi over to Trill, which is going to be nice. Meanwhile, on the river as well, they might get more agility. Come on, keep Jar Jar alive so Trill can just get there. Well, I guess Ace is not going to have the damage to get the kill regardless, so Trill can close the distance and gets a double kill. Nicely done.
Even just Set getting a little bit of that permanent intelligence as well against these heroes like the Mars, the Ember Spirit, the Faceless Void. They don't have the biggest mana pools to be able to play around. I would say Ember in particular, if you're able to get multiple kills in onto him. Ken, 12, 5, and 5, sitting up towards the top of the net worth, but if he doesn't have that mana to play around with, then his teamfight effectiveness drops off heavily.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Only 3,000 net worth lead.
They took the tower eventually, at least, though. Tier 2 got on top, Tier 1 got denied by 11. So a lot more of the map is opened up, and again, you've got to make sure that you're utilizing these windows where you're further ahead before the scaling can happen on the Slark, the Silencer, and with the Midas from the Arc Warden. So I'm expecting them to make another move pretty shortly. BKB freshly picked up by Ken as well. So I can really see them look to make a lot of this action happen.
We'll see. Just stall this one out a little bit, though. Like I said, just waiting for these items, but once they're completed, probably going to be ready to go. It's not really easy, though, for XERXIA just to run into the triangle. They don't have the greatest vision set up, and potentially running to the Spark Race or the Global Silence is never going to be an easy task at all, but see them potentially go for it. Smoke's going to pop, so they will know something's going on. Karma, very aggressive positioning in himself. Down to the southern side, though, Sansa will get caught out to start the fight. So they're not going to have the Global Silence for the team fight. Meanwhile, Ken, though, is going to hold the back at what? Karma just got blown up. Oh, alright. More space, and now they want to take the fight. Trill considering about backstabbing from the south, but will not go forward for any more. Just wants to try and get his farm towards the Scepter.
I mean, this is really odd. I mean, they're picking out now, hey, they've got vision up on this high ground, but what realistically did they expect? You know, you just had moved there previously. You saw that they were making plays around you. You know, they killed Xiao Bonbon previously because they had the vision. So it's a little bit odd that he still felt confident enough to be able to go that deep solo. I think maybe you can if you've got the BKB, but that's still about 2,000 gold away.
I'm trying to... I just was double checking the change to the Arc Warden. They did nerf his Aghanim Scepter very heavily. Secondary Spark Wraith duration.
45 seconds and now it's 15?
Yes, yes. Does it
God,
say...
that was so annoying.
Oh, yeah, it says in there. Okay.
Specifically for the fountain.
Yeah, I don't... So I wonder what the item build's going to be then for 4-2-3. Because he's got Octarine queued up at the moment. Might still go down that route. I'm honestly not quite sure.
Honestly, me neither. I've told you this before. Anything that requires me of using more than just one hero, then it's not for me.
I can leave it up to the professionals. It's okay. You can say you're a professional, you know. You can hit back. It's all good. You don't have to just.
I'm not a professional at micro heroes. That's for sure.
Oh, but you can make everyone. They can think that you are. So you could fool everyone right now.
Person.
No, you could build a facade. You could have Danog, the Giga Chad, the 8K MMR, the absolute baller that just steamrolls pubs. No one would
where's
know.
the lie though?
See the facade. It's building. Who would ever know? I see what you're doing now. You're clicking on. Alright,
miss me with that micro hero bullshit. I don't want to see it.
Dude, it gives me a headache afterwards, honestly. Let's see
There's a
what...
reason I don't play, StarCraft and all that.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good with that. 4-2-3? Not gonna be feeling too good if this smoke connects. Won't stick around for the little scally gold, so gonna be a diversion indeed. 4-2-3 is out of there. Beautifully done. Another
Wait,
smoke.
voice line. If you could play Arc Warden as a support, I would be spamming that voice line constantly when I die to make space,
Ah, yes.
Mere diversion.
I like how you always have to say it, the make space. Space created. Worthwhile death. Well, this game really just slowing down. Do we feel like it's going to continue to be like that for the next 2 minutes until Roche is up? Is either side ready to go, or are we just continuing to wait?
I mean, I feel like XERXIA have the luxury of choosing when they want to go, right? Like, they're going into a Lotus Orb coming through next, just to be able to, on multiple heroes actually, to be able to deal with that global silence so that they can afford not to have those BKBs be picked up. Karma feels like he needs a little bit more of that damage, so I feel like they might want to wait, potentially, to have it available on at least the Rubik. I mean, Xiao Bonbon's only about 400 gold away from finishing his up. And Rapido going into his next. I think I saw Haha have one queued up as well, but it is a mile away from him.
Got some big items. There we go. Scepter now on the Ember. Not as big of an item, but 11 is playing with the Aghanim Shard now for the Visage, so will help out a lot with his survivability throughout some of the engagements. There we go. Smoke up, but what can they get? They really don't have great vision at all. What is it? You're going to have to drop it.
The ideal thing for them is they got to find 11 with the
they could now. 11. First point of contact. They're going to be able to rend it on over. Gleipnir holds him down. It's an early use of the Met. They got to be cautious now. Global silence could be an issue. Ken's going to try and protect himself with the BKB, but there's the global. Do they get anything out of it, though? That's the question. 11's going to pop out of the Aghanim shot. Speed up pushing further away from the base, and Karma with the BKB will just start to go to work as the Visage will be killed off. So in the end, only one kill.
It really felt like his team just let him die, He just was like, you know what, you're dead, but he survived a whole lot longer than I'm sure they were expecting. And that's why I was talking about the fact that XERXIA needed to get that Chronosphere onto him to start the fight. Because
smoke pop.
He's got so many... Oh.
2-3. Slark's going to go in. It's going to try and target down True at the moment. Simultaneously, Ace is also onto the Mars as well. He'll get some distance with the Spear. They can close the distance. Actually, Ken and Karma in combination together. They're going to try and do their best to protect Rapido. Will still go down in the end.
Don't have the greatest vision, though. The high ground up there. Don't see it at the moment, the fact that they've gone into the pit, because they've made sure to hug the left-hand side, respecting how much vision that high ground provides to them. Yeah, I mean, you just see the Wraith Pact, the drums, the pipe, and then with that fresh pickup of the Aghanim Shard, then they're going to change the way that they do that in the next fight, right? Because that was the reveal of the Aghanim Shard. So you got to make sure that you are bursting him 100-0 before the pipe active comes, before the Wraith Pack active comes, and before he's able to get off the stone form, because the save isn't that strong. You can toss the magnetic field out, but that's not going to really do anything. Faceless Void should still have enough damage to take down the Visage.
Who do we feel like is a real big winner after that fight? I think it was a 2-for-2 and a buyback apiece.
No big winners, really, just because there is still kind of in this stalemate where XERXIA, with their slow as hell Roshing lineup, have the control over the left side because they're Radiant, but Lilgun have the vision advantage, and they should be throwing out spells just to be able to see what's happening inside the pit. Yeah, there we go, Spark Wraith's coming through, so they'll know when they can make this move.
How do you contest this, though? That's the issue. Potentially the blink from Tusk. Trill can even leap inside the pit as well. They're actually going to look to back off. XERXIA, do they have a smoke? They do not, so this is...
Maybe they're waiting for the Tempest Double to wear out, and then feel like they can just go when it's just going to be legit one Arc Warden instead of two. There we go, it expires, and they're pinging straight back inside the pit. They say we've got this window of 20 seconds where we can look to make something happen.
They could go in with the Global Silence, but they're going to be fast. Roshi's falling. It looks like they're not ready to jump in.
Good play by XERXIA. They realize, again, Dota is about those tiny little windows, right? The Tempest Double is just about to come back up online, so they recognize that. Immediate pings once they saw that the Tempest Double expired, and now they can look to move forward and try and make something out of this.
That, I believe, is the Octarine now completed for 4-2-3, though, so the extra spam is going to be that much more annoying once XERXIA are trying to push down these objectives. They did get the chains onto the Tusk. I want to try and put some pressure on him or not. Ace forced stuff away thanks to Ser.
He was pump faking that chrono a little bit there on Karma. Seeing if he could catch out anyone, just constantly using that Aghanim Shard for the reverse time walk to be able to catch people out. They are still lacking a little bit in damage, I would say, on Lilgun's side. They really want to see if they can get 4-2-3 up to that level 20 for the extra 125 Spark Wraith damage to combine together with the Octarine core.
Yeah, I feel like that damage comes from long drawn-out fights, though, where the Slark is able to steal the essence. But that's a concern, because Silencer doesn't particularly like that. Like, you want to use Global, get a kill at least onto one, but hopefully two. But I don't think that's how Dire's lineup really is able to succeed because of the Slark.
Yeah, they would much prefer longer drawn-out fights, right? So these heroes like the Ember Spirit, like the Faceless Void, that can go in with their Manta style, their BKB, the Reverse Time Walk, the Remnants, they're going to make life a whole lot more difficult. So it certainly is a little bit easier for XERXIA's game plan to be executed. We spoke about that level 20 on the Faceless Void previously as well. Now he's got that attack speed inside of the Chronosphere, so even more potential to 100-0 here, as again, Visage is still target number one. There is nothing else that's going to be able to prevent the death while he's caught inside of the Chrono.
Oh, there will be now, though. Trill just completed the Aghanim Shard. So having this Depth Shroud is going to be a really big item to help out with some of the survivability. That honestly could be a pretty big issue here. They've got a lot of AoE ultimates, and if you can kite that with that Depth Shroud, maybe it's going to be an issue then if XERXIA overcommit.
Look, I'll be honest, I didn't think Depth Shroud had that big of a cast range. I thought it was like half that.
It's dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know why it's got 800 cast range. They see anyone at the triangle? Set tries to TP up, but Zhao Bon Bon will be able to stop that one short, so the kill going to be put on the board.
There we go. Zhao Bon Bon's got the Lotus Orb as well, so this next fight could look to be really solid for XERXIA if they're able to connect through, but again, they had to use the TPs back for that purpose, so you're not going to have Zhao Bon Bon there at the start of this team fight if they do decide to have one break out, or they might just look to retain control over the Dire jungle, set themselves up. Not that it's going to allow them to do anything like take the next Roshan or anything, it's still ages away, but I think they just feel like, you know, we've got decent information about the bottom.
You've got Manta and BKB in ages, but you are really isolated from your team. No mana now to be able to escape. How do they say? Are they just happy with that? Do they want to set up for round two? Looks like they're happy. I mean, Aegis was going to be reclaimed in a minute, so yeah, all right.
It's odd to just give that up for free when all we've been talking about is how they've got this really nice timing. They've recognized previously when they had these small windows to be able to make plays happen, and then they just give something away like that. Very weird. But at least Zhao Bon Bon now is able to join in with the rest of the boys. They might be looking to use this next creep wave with the double siege creep to be able to find someone out. Oh, the ward inside the lane actually spots out Ace, so maybe with the Ember Spirit plus the Rubik, they're going to look to get one for free. Nice blink out. Ace. Ooh.
Oh, we saw him. Oh, no. Oh. They see another member, though. Silencer does have the Tempest double with him at the moment, and the rest of Dire are moving on over. Ken's going to use a very early BKB, and they're going to be able to cover that now with a Global Silence. Rapido's going to attempt with the use of the arena. Very awkward engagement once again until Karma shows up. Chrono holding down two. The Tusk blinked in as well. Oh no, Ace. He wasn't able to find the snowball. Trill protecting with the Depth Shroud at the moment. He's going to stand his ground, beating into Rapido, being more 4-2-3. This Arc Warden's having a free fight as well as XERXIA need to get out, but they might not be able to as the jump over the tree line pounces on the mark. beautifully done. A couple of buybacks were expended, but Lilgun, what a team fight.
Yeah, pretty good team fight from both sides, to be honest, right? Other than, of course, blinking inside of the Chronosphere, but the global silence being used to cover the Ember Spirit that had gone super deep with that BKB activated immediately after Rapido pops his own BKB, jumps in, uses the arena to provide him with that little bit of security, but they'd still just committed a little bit too hard, and you know that's the disadvantage of fighting next to someone's base when, I mean, they've got all of the control to be able to influence that fight, right? Buyback on 11, gets back into the fight, actually uses all of his auras this time around, and they're able to take that one over.
It's a lot of levels as well given over to Lilgun. Pretty much evening this game. Chill gets up to 22. Arc Warden very close behind as well, who almost has a Hex completed, so they're actually going to be eyeing up Ken. Respawns are coming out. This, you got to be pretty hesitant. Visage is going to look to start. Not an easy person to bring down at all. Chill trying to get rid of Ken, but meanwhile they can just turn their attention with the snowball, holding 11 down for the moment. 11's able to get the snowball form off to protect him, and now the goons have showed up, so XERXIA need to retreat him. Well, the tree protector won't be able to do so.
They got to take their tier 1 tower in mid, man. 37 minutes. You've got the lead up to Roshan potentially happening shortly, but they're still scared. They're not wanting to commit fully. I would have thought this was the window that they were wanting. Tree protected dead, no Chronosphere available, but they're still just going to back off and get some of this safer farm. I'm not really sure what they feel is going to be coming shortly. Well, they still end up getting it, but could have very easily just been given away for nothing.
Dude, it's a big item, man. This Hex not completed is huge. You have the potential now to get that instant jump onto the Ember, instant jump onto the Faceless Void as well. No Lincolns are being worked on.
What do you think about the Manta on Ember, though? Just wants another way to be able to avoid getting silenced.
Silence, Gleep need. Lot that he's able to get rid of.
Giving him the Spell Prism as well. Always wants to have those actives available. Got a 75-second downtime still, though.
Be nice. They got the Tome coming up shortly. I wonder if Dai will give that to Ser, because he's pretty close to this 15 talent. 25-second reduction in global silence. You definitely take that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even a Bloodthorn on the Slark as well. Trilla's getting a decent chunk of gold, man. This is we're in quite a position to head to the late game. Only a 4,000 net worth lead. I don't even know who's favored late game, honestly. I would initially say Radiant. I thought the Void's got some pretty good matchups, but the fights have looked very awkward.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I was
Let's go with the fight, though. Karma, smoke up. It is the nighttime, so he's... And Trill's got that advantage. Lincoln's going to be popped. The boys aren't there to be able to capitalize, so Radiant getting... No oh. Well, yeah, whoops indeed.
Man, look at all the dispels that they've got. So, BKBs on 2 heroes on Dire, 3 heroes on Radiant. You've got Lotus Orb on either team. You've got the Stormcrafter on 4-2-3. You've got the Witchbane on Ace. Like, so many things that are going to be able to get rid of, you know, the lockdown from the Overgrowth, the Global Silence. It's really about the reactive play that's going to come through here. And when it comes to reactive, it's generally the team that's able to position themselves around the map that little bit better to force a panicked rotation as opposed to a coordinated one. So how are they going to be able to influence the lanes to make those mistakes happen? Something like Arc Warden is really good at being able to do that. Just non-committal, throw out a Tempest Double. If he dies, he dies. And then you've got a little bit of information as well as to where the enemy team is on the map. With that information, they saw that Mars was playing in mid, so maybe they're going to go for a wraparound to the right side, see if they can catch anyone else solo. Well, Mars might not be immediately there, and again, just using that Tempest Double, maybe trying to bait someone into this lane to deal with the push, and then immediately make the punish happen. Doesn't seem like they want to take the bait, though, on XERXIA. Slowly moving forward as a unit. That smoke's about to wear off. Luckily enough for them, though, XERXIA don't have the wards inside of their own jungle. They would have been scouted out anyway. with the gem on Slark. What's that sound? I have no idea what that sound was. It's a sound that I've never heard of in Dota. I wish we did that thing. Remember from the Arlington Major? Oh, actually, never mind. Hex coming out here, but it's just on the Tempest double.
Easy go. He's done a really good job not to feed too many Tempest doubles, honestly. They're going to smoke instantly now. Roche is up. They want to wrap around before Dire are able to set a formation. They haven't really grouped up around their high ground, so Radiant will be able to walk on 4. This is a lot of map control they're getting now from Radiant. Incredibly forward for this next... Oh, no way. No way. 4-2-3. They... Oh, Repeater missed! He missed the Gorge Rebuke. Oh, no. A global was used nonetheless, but now they jump in. They're going to try and still take the team fight, targeting down Xiao Bonbon. They want some revenge, but let's see if they're going to be able to find a 4-on-5. XERXIA, they're going to call it quits. Rapido's out. Looks like the rest of the boys should be able to make it as well, but does this open up the pit? Does it open up the objectives now for Dire?
Trying to land in onto Jar Jar here. Why am I calling him Jar Jar? Haha. And yeah, this is the time where the Dire can really look to put their foot down and say, we're going to be able to take this objective so much faster than you. They did have to use a few BKBs for that though, so they're still going to look to play a little bit more defensively, of course. With the Chronosphere, with the Overgrowth, great abilities for fighting around such an enclosed area. I didn't even realize that Roshan's got his little Santa hat in the update as well.
I want to see the Arc Ward and TP bottom. Yeah, he's going to do just that. They got a massive creep wave shoved out with the catapult, so this will be very awkward. Well, now they can...
I mean, it was them that paused. So
yeah.
It's all right. This is honestly something that XERXIA would love. You know, I was talking about it before. The one that I think is going to come out on top is the one that forces panicked responses that isn't completely coordinated. And Arc Warden's a great way to deal with that. Well, with the pause happening, and unluckily for Lilgun, it's them that make the pause. This gives XERXIA the time to have that discussion of who's going to deal with this. Is anyone going to deal with this at all? Can we wait out the magnetic field and then just use the glyph to be able to deal with this push?
Yeah, because this is a tricky call now. Ember can't go down, and if you bring someone else, you could really break your formation, and then that means that Dire again could get some map control. It's all
I don't
about...
think you can afford to do it around the Roche timing. You got to just let this one go, see how much damage he ends up putting in. I don't think he right-clicked a single time with that with the Arc-Warded Tempest double, so should be fine. Oh, I even forgot that they've got the living armor as well, so that makes this push a whole lot less effective. Really is a bit of a game of chicken, isn't it?
It is indeed. It's felt like it's been like that for the entirety of this game. Well, 2-3 is getting a lot of vision with this Tempest double on the cliff. What has he got queued up? The overwhelming blink, okay.
Just a nice way to quickly shove out lanes. We'll do it again. Bottom side, Tempest double used. He's got an Octarine, of course. Even just using the Stormcrafter for a little bit more of that passive damage. How long until he can have buyback and the overwhelming? Just about 1,000 gold, so not too far away.
Are we seeing anything come up surely that can really break this game open? It's felt even for a decent chunk of it, even though the win probability is very, very much favoring Lilgun.
I wouldn't put it that far in their favor, to be honest. Again, I've disagreed with Dota Plus once, and I feel like as long as you find the right target, you're in a good spot on XERXIA. It's just a matter of how can you do that. Smokes become even more important now than what they were in the earlier stages of the game, because you've got to find that Slark. You've got to find the Visage to be able to start these team fights. And well, the best thing would be if they could find someone isolated, but Lilgun aren't going to make that mistake. The only one that they're going to put down onto the bottom side most of the time is going to be the Arc Warden. Actually using Tusk to do it for now, maybe just giving him that extra little bit of experience to get up onto the level 20.
Jojo? Double leap from Trill. The boys are here for Quiet. Trill is committed
Got
incredibly
the Shadow
deep.
Dance off.
We'll at least get the ultimate of the Global Silence as well, but Rapido's going to purge that with the Lotus Orb, and that's all they needed. Just a little bit of control onto the Slark, and now they might be able to jump for more. Remnant onto Silence's location. The Hex is out. It needs to be perfect with the chain control afterwards. Ace is going to leap into the middle and they bring him down. This could be the opening now. Slark's going to look to buy back as well. Can they take the fight without the Chronosphere? Karma is going to force the retreat. BKB will cover the escape, but can the rest of Radiant get out? Great blink timing out of the Dream Protector. Still, Trill's going to be on the marker. 4-star for the higher gun, but again, the Hex is there. Into the middle they go, but the Faceless Void's now in trouble. He jumped in, the Hex is there, and he's gone. They'll get rid of Karma. It's up to Ken now to turn the team fight onto the real Arc Warden towards the backline, but Ken, he's got no boys, he's got no reinforcements. Bloodthorn's out. Trill, oh, that's a long pounce from afar. Hex again. It's a dieback. Oh my lord, the Hex is paying off huge in these fights.
Sets him up amazingly as well to be able to go into this Roshan again, much faster potential to be able to take that one out. You know it's a 5v4, and you, of course, had to use the buyback on the Slark for that team fight, but he will very happily snag up this Aegis for himself and continue the push on forward. This is the window that you were hoping for. I really didn't know about the start of that team fight. I mean, Slark had the gem. He knew that he was walking around underneath that vision. And even though he was on point with the Shadow Dance, good coordination coming through as well, making sure that, you know, even though he might have that Dark Pact available, you got to actually be able to use it, you know, not be stunned at the time. So good spear, gets the pick off, but just diving in a little bit too deep, not respecting the Hex. It's a great Scythe of Ice purchase by 423.
And look at his next item of choice as well from 423. It's going to be the Wind Waker. So you've now got great ways to answer the Chrono. We spoke about the Depth Shroud earlier, but now you've got the Wind Waker for the Arena as well. And it feels like you'll always have some way to protect you. Either the Tempest Double is outside or the real Arc Warden.
It does feel like they need to be, like, fully committal on XERXIA's side. That's the big issue, right? Like, you just need to all just make a decision of, I'm going now, and then pop all the BKBs for it. I thought they kited amazingly with the Dream Protector.
Oh, they see Karma. Oh, they see Karma. This is not good. Lincoln's popped. And they're just going to melt through and force stuff down to the south. Karma, no, but the Global. Flicker off, gets it a spell, but he's running closer towards Trill. Karma's got to be cautious. They got the water high gun, so they know exactly where the Slark is. Does he go for the random pounce? Trill. Oh my lord.
So close, man. So close to being able to just lock this game away. Wouldn't have had that buyback available. There's even a DD on the top side of the river. No one scouted it out just yet. Just really wanting to take any opportunity that they can to make these pushes start to happen. Still playing very, I don't want to necessarily say passively, but certainly not getting as aggressive as they potentially could with these big heroes, with the huge risk of not having the buyback available. Yeah, I wonder especially with no BKB on the Faceless Void, right? You've got 3 hexes when you consider that you've got 2 Arc Wardens. 423's just got to make sure that in these team fights he doesn't have his Tempest Double next to him. You should always be able to find a save with that Wind Waker.
True. Well, Thorn's going to be utilized.
Spears have been solid by Rapido.
They have indeed. Gives an opportunity to be able to step down, so... That is still a difficulty from them. I don't know how the hell you're going to high ground.
Yeah, and then 11 finally uses the resummon on his familiars, so he gets that 3rd familiar now. Level 25. So much damage. They could even consider, like, they've got various avenues now for making the plays. Picking up the Aghanim's Blessing from that Roshan was 11, so he's got the Silent as the Grave. What neutral items have they got? Is there... It's just Witchbane, right, that can pop the Lincolns these days? I feel like that's the case. I'm gonna say yes. Maybe like Book of Shadows or something, you know, but other than a tier 5 item, I think that's the only thing that can. So I would almost want to just give that over to him instead of the Tusk, because with that Silent as the Grave, you're going to be able to catch literally anyone and 100 to 0 them. You know, you You witchbane them, you cheap them, you use your triple familiars with your crazy build. He doesn't actually, excuse me, have the AC just yet, so damage could certainly be higher, but right now his main focus is living, drawing out those fights, using the strength that a level 26 Slark with Aegis is going to have, with the cheese, with the Arc Warden, just Spark Wraiths flying around everywhere.
20 FPS. Tough.
You just got to get better PCs. Mine's running at 120.
Yeah. Mine needs an upgrade too. You'll buy me some new stuff?
Maybe if you're nice. I don't want to be a sugar daddy.
Brad loves Sugar Mama. Guys can you can apply if you want. Come on. Come on. Where are they? I know they're out there somewhere, right?
Radiant
Yeah,
are
sure.
scanning.
not in esports, that's where.
Progression for Karma's really been stopped short. Karma's gonna be a little bit cautious. One on the high count does scout out Ace. Trill's got a double damager in as well to play with. Aegis still for another minute 30. They're gonna smoke up. I don't know if they just double smoked, regardless though. See what they can get. Just charge around the tree line down bottom. Has he got buyback? He does have buyback, so at least if required, they can have the tree and protector for high ground defense. Not the most vital kill though.
Fast he's able to just shove out these waves as the Arc Warden in a whirling blink with how late this game is, just melts the creep wave.
Wonder what he goes
And
for
this is
next.
it, like, you cause panic, right? Where are you expecting to go? Man, there's way too many of those Spark Wraiths now. Wait, is that Rubik's?
Karma?
Yeah,
Oh,
Rubik's
jump
stole
in.
Spark Wraith.
They get the first hit bash as well. Telekinesis protecting Karma. Joe gonna look for the reset. In fact, he wants to continue playing on the aggressive front. Inside XERXIA's territory, they're holding the buyback of the tree protector at the moment. The buildings are starting to fall those. The temper's double, creating space for Trill and the familiars to go to work. The barracks now exposed, and we'll have to force out a glyph.
Even the Arc Warden Tempest Double is like nearly taking out two heroes on its own now. That's how fun. I mean, look at the net worth. He's been able to build
Mars
up
might be...
on 4-2-3.
No.
This is what I mean. Oh, I see a Chrono on the back line.
What's happened? Karma gets a jump of the Wind Waker. Holding Trill down for the moment. Remember, they brought back prior. Karma's in trouble again. Able to purge it off. Just gets the time look away, and the overgrowth will cover the retreat. Beautifully done from Radiant, but Trill's going to be into the middle. Onto the Ember Spirit they go. Hex is out. The Lotus Orb doing nothing, but that's where the Telekinesis can come into play. As Karma's okay, Rapido might not be as fortunate, but again, the saving supports almost enough to keep Rapido alive, but finally Dire will get one kill.
One kill, but the thing is, XERXIA got 0, and they still had to use the arena.
Ken.
They had to use the
Or
overgrowth.
Ken is in trouble. I don't know if they can keep him alive this time. Force to the left, but Trill's on top of him. Ember's gone without a buyback. And how do you take these team fights if you don't have the Chronos? And, well, it looks like they won't even be able to. No opportunity as a G's are dropped. And what was a long haul of a game one here in the end. It'll be a Lilgun that come out on top.
Dire victory.
There's always something that they could just pull out against you, huh? And unfortunately for XERXIA, again, I feel like they had these windows where they could have really sealed off the map a lot more. They could have taken these objectives without having to trade something. It could have been an outright win, and, well, it ends up costing them, dearly in the end. A huge amount of net worth given over to that Arc Warden, and they just kept stalling out the game further and further. I feel like they had avenues to be able to take the win. It was probably right around that 40 or so minute mark where the win probability was even, and just a few decisions not really going in XERXIA's favor. I mean, that it was all Lilgun from there.
All Lilgun from there, and what a performance from 423. Very impressed with his Arc Warden, a hero that we don't see often, but Most damage dealt in the game. Was just such a nuisance from start to finish, and was XERXIA were definitely in a position to be able to take this one, but like you said, just a couple of mistakes slipping up there from them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate, but Lilgun are going to be breathing a sigh of relief for sure. Again, XERXIA, they really need these wins, right? This is their second last series where they play against Spawn after this, and right now with that win, Lilgun are 5-10. If they're able to get another win, that'll bring them to 6-10, and it means that XERXIA need to get, I would say, at least 3 wins out of their next. Well, no, then it would be impossible actually. So yeah, the formula is very simple. XERXIA lose and Lilgun are in, and XERXIA are out. So this game 2 is going to be really high.
Well, that's what we like to hear. Hype game 2 to be able to close out our second series of the night. We'll see who's able to come out on top after the break.